Hi girls, Ms. Gasket here. Today we're going over English 3 Semester 2 Week 1 Activity 5.1, Previewing the Unit. Our learning targets for this activity are to preview the big ideas and vocabulary for the unit and to identify and analyze the skills and knowledge necessary to successfully complete Embedded Assessment 1. Our learning strategies for this activity are going to be marking the text, think, pair, share, skimming and scanning, summarizing, and paraphrasing, although we're not going to use think, pair, share because of the online modality. So, to begin, making connections. So to extend the metaphor of a journey, you are beginning another kind of journey, the study of the Harlem Renaissance, a specific literary cultural period that made a significant contribution to the ever-growing world of American literature. For this unit, you will build a foundational understanding of this movement so that you can delve deeply into one novel that was produced as a result of its philosophy, values, and beliefs. This particular period in American history is noted for its flowering of African American literature, art, music, and thought. Your research will culminate in a multimedia research presentation. This kind of presentation differs from a traditional research paper in its delivery. It calls for the presenters to understand the information well enough to create a presentation that not only shares the information gathered during the research, but also allows the presenter to use a variety of media resources. These are the two essential questions that I would like for you to answer. Because there's not really very much space underneath them, feel free to answer over here in the notes section instead. So number one is, how do cultural movements such as the Harlem Renaissance reflect and create people's attitudes and beliefs? So it's asking, how do these kind of changes in society where things start behaving in different ways due to some kind of a movement in culture, and how does that change people's attitudes and beliefs? So think about how the shift that's going to be described, or think about any kind of shift in culture that you've noticed and how people have changed to respond to it. A good example would be like how technology has evolved so much in like the last 30 years or so, and how that's changed the way that people interact with the world around them. So the second question is, how is one writer's work both a natural product of and a departure from the ideas of a specific literary movement in American literature? So think about the way that one writer can either stick with or change different elements of the movement. So developing vocabulary. Here it wants us to examine the academic vocabulary and literary terms of this unit and sort them according to our level of familiarity and determine what strategies we need to gather knowledge of new terms independently and to develop the ability to use them accurately. Our literary terms, I'm going to post them in a list on Canvas, so we're going to go through that in a little bit and I'll show you what to do with those, not in this video but in a separate video. And then when we get to unpacking Embedded Assessment 1, let's look at what it says. Closely read the assignment for Embedded Assessment 1, presenting a literary movement, the Harlem Renaissance. So your assignment is to work in pairs or a small group to create an interactive multimedia research presentation about a topic related to the Harlem Renaissance. This presentation to your classmates should include a variety of media and must also include an annotated bibliography. Your presentation should focus on some aspect of the era that presents the values and beliefs of the Harlem Renaissance, such as historical context, philosophy and beliefs, the art, or daily life. So since this is a group project, we're going to facilitate it through Canvas. There's a way you can message each other through the inbox, and there's also a way to create your own discussion forums for your group, and I'll make a separate video explaining how to do that so that you can begin working on this project. So I'm going to help you understand the different things that you're going to need to know in order to successfully complete this project by highlighting the action words in one color and the things we're supposed to do with those actions with another. So we have to work, that's an action. What do you have to work with? You have to work with pairs or a small group. I'm going to highlight this in a different color like I mentioned. And then we have to create, that's another action. Something we have to do is create. And then what do we have to create? We have to create an interactive multimedia research presentation. So you're going to need to know how to do that. That's going to be one of the skills that you learn. And so I'm going to highlight that again with my chosen color. And I just use the top corner one because it's easiest to keep it consistent if I don't have to search for the specific one that I chose. About a topic related to the Harlem Renaissance. This presentation to your classmates should include, so here's something we have to do. We have to include, what do we have to include? A variety of media. And also an annotated bibliography. So I'm going to highlight that. Your presentation should focus on some aspects of the era that presents the values and ideas of the Harlem Renaissance, such as historical context, philosophy and beliefs, the arts, or daily life. So since I don't want everybody to be presenting on the same topic because I want you to learn from each other, I'm going to make a list of the choices you can make your presentation about regarding the Harlem Renaissance, and I want you to submit to me your top 3 choices for your group. Once you have those choices, I'm going to match you up with other people who also want to work on those things, and then going from there, you will begin your project. So what we're going to do is, it says with your class to create a graphic organizer. We're going to create a list of the things that you're going to need to know in order to complete this assignment successfully. So skills you'll need to know versus information you'll need to know. So skills are, the reason I'm separating this into skills or information, are skills are something that you have as an ability that you can apply to many things. Whereas information is like things that you learn that you don't do necessarily, but it's just that you know. So you're going to need to be able to work with a team. You're going to need to know how to create an interactive multimedia research presentation. You're going to need to be able to write an annotated bibliography. You're going to need to know how to create multimedia sources. I believe that's it in terms of what you have to know how to do. And then for your information, you're going to need to know about the Harlem Renaissance. You're going to need to know the historical context, philosophy, or you're going to need to know basically whatever it is that your group is assigned. So I'm just going to put all of the ones here. And then you're also going to need to be able to create a presentation or present it in a way that is, uses certain presentation standards, and those are all going to be in a rubric for you. So I'm going to put presenting a project as one of the skills you're going to need to know how to do. Okay? So these are all of what we're going to need to know and do in terms of our project that is going to take place at the end of Unit 5. Or, I'm sorry, at the end of the first half of Unit 5. So, that's the end of Activity 5.1. I hope that this was informative for you, but if you have any questions remaining, please feel free to reach out and I will respond to you with whatever help you may need. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.